Oh, to be free again? Oh no, wait, to be free from aging and dead. I was about to say, was gonna be free, but no. Wait, are we already forced to answer the immortality thingy? But we don't have an answer yet. But do we? Oh, that's a lot of people. Okay. Young Master Bayou and his 12 companions have arrived at the... Tupiteng. Okay, the Jade Hall. Another Jade. We entered the hall where the first round was to be held. As always, the servants by the gate announced our arrival with the resounding holler we had grown to expect. An arena or a stadium, I see. We have many eyes on us, Executive Manager. We should be careful. I look up to see that the audience seat, which was brimmed with people, were divided into stair-like terraces, and on the platform at the opposite end of the hall, 3 shadows of chairs could be seen, cast on the obscured curtain fabric? A curtain? And as for us, we followed the attendant's guidance and stood next to the other participant at the circular area in the center. Are the elevations happening past those curtains? Or is this some kind of stage now? Are you? Wait, do you recognize someone? No, it's nothing, Dante. Even if we were to meet again, we don't really have anything to talk about anyways, and maybe we'll have another chance later, if fate wills it. Oh hey, I think it's finally getting started. Whoa. The curtain slid open, and the old woman that we saw from yesterday's banquet walked out on the platform. Many scores ago, I ascended to the seat of Chia Mu with a stroke of fortune. Yet a lifetime has passed since I assumed this great responsibility. Such as it is, I seek to abdicate and walk the path of mountains and stream as river does. With the seat voided, the responsibility seeks the one with the qualities of the family hierarchs to fill it. Thus, here at the Dang Yuan, a collective upheld by pillars of 4 great houses, the Jia, Chiu, Wang, and Shi, we once again ask you the perennial question. Have you brought us something to prove that the answer indeed exists? Mortality, isn't it? Wait, who's that woman next to her now? Oh, she's my older sister, Big Sis Chuang Chun. Why does she have the right to sit next to them then? She married a very important person in Q Corp and spent most of her time there. Looks like she's visiting for the... Oh, I see. So she isn't actually participating. She's just here to judge, probably. Or, at the very least, partake in the judgment. Though I have resided in a foreign nest, I now return fleetingly to share the love with my flesh and blood, to fulfill my duty as an observer by the order of Filia Pity. In return, that the truth shall be observed to the best of my abilities. Some of you may have walked a laid path gentle on your feet, yet some of you may have struggled through an unlaid, brutal path of cracked mountains and thousandfolds to find your answers. Yet, regardless of the severity of your suffering, all of you, equally, have but one opportunity for this first round. Even still, you were all once prospect heirs of the great house. Even your failure shall bring power and prosperity to Danghua. Now, come forth in the order that you are summoned, and demonstrate the invaluable answer to the question of 3 freedoms. 1 from aging, 1 from death, and 1 from the brevity of lives. If the nature of your answer is indemonstrable, then present an iron-cladded proof. Lose not, and discard not. Let fresh youth be unending and eternal. After their respective speech, Ye Hung Yu and Chia Mu disappeared behind the curtain atop the platform. First candidate. It seems that Hong Lu's father assumed the role of the host for the first round. Ren of the Wang family. Woo! Gives me rain vibes. Wang Ren, the first to be summoned, walked up on the platform. Behind him was his faction, who were dragging someone by a rope towards the platform. Hurry up, you foolish thing! Is that... Who are they dragging up to the stage for? Whoever that is, they clearly don't want to be here. To be free from aging and death, huh? I suppose that every ring kind of dreams of escaping and rising beyond the body that they are born with. H-Cup's pursuit of immortality probably isn't special in that regard. Is that a blood fiend? He had brought a blood bag! Never mind, it's a blood bag. That is when we were finally able to recognize who the candidate had dragged up to the stage. Their eyes unfocused and red, mouth slick with drool dripping down the mouth's gauge. Meaningless snarling. That is a mindless blood bag. How does a blood fiend become an answer to immortality? Well, I guess in layman's eyes, blood fiends may appear to have truly attained the freedom of aging. I mean, look at Dawn. She's literally over 200 years old. I don't think she's aged even a day. However, as we are now all aware, blood fiends can grow old and weak after a prolonged period of blood reparation, so thus it is unlikely to provide the answer that we seek. After some struggle, the blood bag was dragged kicking and groveling past the curtain atop the platform. So that creature is the fabled blood fiend then, I doubt that will do the job though. Blood fiends would indeed be quite a historic knowledge, but to the judges of this contest, I doubt there'll be anything more than a lukewarm trivia. The Wing Kid must have been pretty desperate, huh? To drag a blood bag out of all of them. Well, he's either lazy as a ball, or that boy ain't right in the upstairs. It appears that the knowledge of blood fiends is oddly common amongst the ilks. Indeed, blood fiends are presented in every nest. It is of little surprise that those privy to the arcane knowledge art were well aware of their existence. After a brief moment that lasted less than a minute, Wang Ren and his faction emerged from behind the curtain and descend from the platform. Wang Ren, candidate of the family hierarchy elevation, stand up on the podium and await your judgment. Then they ascend the round podium behind the platform as ordered. Thus announcing Wang Ren's result from round 1 of the family hierarchy elevation. Elimination. No! Listen, all they need is blood. As long as you supply them with enough blood, they will be eternal and everlasting. Vulnerable to Mu, please! Nay. What awaits them is no eternity at all. Verily, I know not the shape of this true immortality that the elevation seekers to attain, yet the longevity of blood fiends, shackled by blood and endless suffering, is unlikely to be the one. What? But those damn hunters told me that they still retain all of their memories and... To become a blood fiend is to surrender all of the desires and emotion that exists within thy being for a singular hunger for blood, and only blood. Perhaps that is an acceptable condition for those who expect nothing but fathomless torment for the rest of their lives. Yet for those with much to lose, with much in life that they could cling to, as those presented seem to have. The fate of a blood fiend is no freedom from aging and death. This is but a sanctum shackle, enslaving their minds. A member of the bunch of fraction has already given you an excellent reply. No further elaboration is necessary to this. And you have failed to bring us a high kindred as well, let alone a blood fiend. This creature is but a miserable blood bag. I cannot even well commend your efforts. Here, Ren of the Wang family, they have spoken, and mercifully given you the full explanation of your mistake. A privilege that failed candidates do not even deserve. Let this be the final blessing of your life. What? The podium suddenly opens under their feet, casting Wing Ring and the Bloodbag to its depth with a blood-crawling screech. What? So this is what happens if you fail, huh? Is that instant death? That's just... Okay, that was just for dramatic effect, right? There's gotta be something like a side path leading back upstairs, right? Of course not. Can't you smell the stench of festering pain rising from the heats of the depths? You've been honing your sense of humor, right? There are some pretty nasty jolts, though. Where does that hole lead to? Judging by the time between the drop and the sound of the fall, I presume it goes quite far down. Oh, it probably leads to a place with lots of old family secrets. Oh, no treasures, of course. But trying to figure that out might get you a visit from the high show. Probably. They really went all out with their theatrics, huh? Yeah, and we could very well be the next one screaming and falling down the hole later. True. The next candidate was summoned before we were even able to shake off the initial shock. The second candidate hails from the Shu family. We sat through a few more names of subsequent failures. We couldn't hear what exactly they were talking about beyond the curtain, and unlike the very loud and obvious Bloodbag, the answer that the other candidates brought were less obvious, so... All we had to go on were the shadows of their desperate attempts to explain things before the judge. I guess another one. Yep. The failure rate around here is really high! Puh! Boring as hell! The longer we watched the death toll rise, the less shocked they became. Are they planning to fail every single one of them? 8th candidate, Bao Chai of the Shu family. Oh my, look, we know her. Wait, she is going to participate? She was technically our competition, but it seems that she managed to give the sinner quite a positive impression with the yesterday's brief encounter. Some of them were even cheering for her. We couldn't see exactly what it was that Shu Baisha brought, but she was also holding something as she entered past the curtain. Bao Chai of the Su family. After a brief meeting with the judges, which, going by the shadows casted on the curtain, appears to have gone better than we had expected, she emerged. And as soon as she did, Bao Chai immediately turned in our direction. Edong Lu, to be exact. By you! Were you watching? And began excitedly waving her hands. She passed. The podium beneath her remains shut. Okay, passing connection that it may be, yet I ill wish to see a familiar face to be claimed by the abyss. Thus, I am very glad. 17th candidate, Ye Xingchu of the Ye family. Xingchu's turn now. Oh, please, don't! She slowly ascended the platform, unaccompanied. She held in her hands a tightly sealed, guarded bottle? Looks like she found it. She found the water? Alright, the water from the river that we saw in Don's memories. Impossible. She reached Little? Well, the possibility that she actually managed to reach it there in person is infinitely minuscule, but there is an infinitely statistical possibility that she could have reached the river, yet not even Faust can conceal how someone of their capabilities could reach the fountainhead of one of the deepest fathoms. This becomes even more impossible when considering the relatively short passage of time since then and now, when she didn't even have a single clue. A more likely explanation might be that she obtained the water by collecting its dew, or a portion of what has seeped out. Alas, the river's water serves only to put to slumber one's memories. Pray, does it truly hold on to a link to the immortality that they seek? Yes, it is likely closely connected to the immortality of the mind that they pursue. as they are but an extremely small number of people privy to the knowledge of the river. If the contents of the bottles is genuine, Faust expect her to pass. Qingju of the Chia family has passed. Yeah, the girl! You have brought before us a priceless treasure. It must have taken unparalleled effort to obtain this, given the meager size of your clan. Thank you, big sister Chun-Chun. As Faust expected, all three judges appeared quite satisfied by what Chia Qingju brought before them. Okay, that's good. That's good. Now what is our offerings going to be? Wait, N-Corp! Right! That guy joined N-Corp, and did he bring all of them along? I might have. Okay, the next candidate, 18. Oh, bloody hell, how many people are there? Too many. Huan of the Chia family. Oh, is that an ego that I see? Oh yes, it is the one that grips and freaking fell bullet! Oh, you guys! This is an upgrade! A definite upgrade! Our first meeting with that man was less than amicable, and I had a strong feeling that another one wasn't going to do anything to improve that. Chia Hongwong walked up to the platform. We all felt silent, hearing a familiar name. Bastard! I could feel that some sinners were growing tense, some of them even gritted their teeth. And the other man, closely following Chia Huang, holding what looks like the egg of an abnormality, was also a familiar face. I had seen him many times in Yi Seng's memories. Dante, are you seeing what they're wearing? Yeah, of course, ego suits, right? Yeah! It can be speculated that they've either developed their own methods of extraction, or have scavenged them from another lobotomy corporation. Kobo carries what appears to be an egg of an abnormality. Are they planning to just offer them an abnormality egg? How's that an answer to anything? I mean, Dante, considering the fact that you can destroy an abnormality, it does prove itself to be some sort of immortality, right? There's no way to get rid of them. All you can do is suppress them temporarily. While there is room for interpretation, some may present a reasonable argument in interpreting the abnormality as an entity that neighbors immortality. So the linchpin of their success hinges on which abnormality's egg that ends up being, huh? Well, if it is Big Brother Hia Huan that I know, he's never going to risk his life for something that he thinks will fail. Huan of the Chia family passes the first elevation. Contrary to most of our wishes, it seems like he's passed the first round. Great. Many more candidates came and went. One of them carried a massive, mysterious coffin. Okay, Wang Dawai. One of them brought a thick book, and one of them presented a cage so thin that we couldn't even see what was within. Some of them managed to pass, while some of them were sent screaming into the mysterious abyss. As we waited and watched the candidates come and go, people from N-Corp, their turn completed, approached us. Yet early is it for the twilight to arrive. Thus early, too, is the meeting of ours. As if to prove his own words back at the LCE, and that he comes to accept a certain thing as they are, Yi Seng coolly regards his old friend, who was now working for N-Corp. You must find this small but barren respite of yours quite enjoyable. I've not seen you chess as you do now since the league has fell. For what do you now approach me? The rift is too great betwixt us to chatter on with any affection as to speak of. Do not mistake my intention, for it wasn't I who desired to approach you. My teammate simply wishes to have a look at his brother's face, and I thought I might as well see how you are faring. It looks like that everyone's coming back to Dongchuan now, that the family hierarchy's war has started. This is our first meeting since then. right? If it isn't the dolten fool who has eyes but know not how to see. I know you well enough. You would normally turn purple with Irvinian upon hearing even a brief mention of the World Hierarch. So why are you here? Who are you and your stinking entourage working for this time? Is it that Sue girl, blinded by your looks to the revolting rot within? Or is it Sue Young, who still defends you and your meaningless, Frog's profound spiel, deluded in her beliefs that you still are the same boy from her childhood? Wait, he was that? Oh, okay. Why didn't you save him? No, let me ask you a different question. Why did you save her and only her? Yeah, about you. Brother, human die. It's what they're born to do. What has happened? One half of his eye kinda looked dead there. Okay. The next candidate will be judged soon. Candidates must return to their seats. You're a servant. You're barely even a living thing. Let us return. This discourse will not bear any fruits. What is this? A reunion party now? Oh, that sure sours things. Those shameless bastards. It's obvious that they're here to nick our things again, right? Of course, they always steal our stuff. Maybe, but something about them feels different today. Whichever's the case, the safer option would be to place higher than them. Another one has fallen. Oh, this is not good. His family has to be watching this, right? Wonder if they'll be okay about this. Sinclair mutters, watching another candidate fall down the trapdoor. I can't imagine how anyone would be okay watching their own fall like this. Sinclair, the people sitting behind us, they are his parents. The guy who just fell. We raised that failure as our own son? What a pathetic disappointment! What? Don't worry. I have faith in our third child. I mean, it's not like we expected anything from this one, right? Horrible! They're all horrible! Oh, I see what it means. To dedicate your whole life to becoming the family's hierarch. Many people desperately vie for the seat of the family hierarch. Of course, some of them, like his parents, hope too. Have their friends or close blood relative become the family hierarch instead. So they seek to seize a lifetime worth of riches, power, and recognition by planting someone that they can control in the family hierarch seat without becoming one themselves or taking any of the upcoming risks. Well, that kind's got a low shelf life. Looks like I finally got to know how my long-lost siblings are doing, thanks to this unforeseen opportunity. 27 candidate. Plan of the Sioux family. Oh! Oh, that looks promising. Is that Sue Penn? Wait, have we heard that name before? Yeah. Ah, he's big sister Bao Shai's older brother. Sue Penn walked up to the platform, holding what appears to be a large jar with multiple talismans plastered above it. Is it just me, or does that guy kinda looks like he's totally up to something? Is he? Well, to be honest, who here isn't, right? Yeah, but that sword is different. Instead of ascending to the platform and into the curtain, he walked up to the podium. Wait, he looks like he's completely lost to the plot. Candidate Supan, you will ascend to the platform and enter the curtain threshold. Where's the fun in walking down the straightforward road? It's only right that something so precious and entertaining should be shared with everyone around. Wouldn't you agree? Is he mad? He is mad! He placed the jar on the ground. And from within, a desecrated hand emerged. Okay. Pathetic sorcery trickery, I see. Ryosha mutters with purposeless distaste. Why is he... What the heck is that? A zombie? A corpse? Their desecrated flesh covered in a light, spare layer of old paper crawled out of the jar and began to shamble. They neither distortion or any sort of abnormalities. Their behavior reminds me of bloodbags or sub-entities enslaved by abnormalities. Any semblance of consciousness have been stripped away from them. They attack indiscriminately. But it seems that they are just as intended on mauling and killing whoever they can to get their claws on. Executive Manager, we must prepare for battle. Your orders. I guess we're gonna take care of this. Yeah, we definitely have to take care of this. The jar monster stepped upon the audience, stuffing the struggling, still breathing victims into their jaws. Why aren't the organizer doing anything about this? This is still an event hosted by the Wings, isn't it? Where's the security? Well, because there isn't really a rule in the family hierarchy that prohibits bringing harm to others. What? So they're just gonna sit back and twiddle their thumbs because no such specific rule was told to them? Oh, come on! What do we do now? Should we step in? We should probably survive and ensure our safe participation in the family hierarchy war. What the hell are these? Get away from me! As the monsters began to swarm in, some candidates scattered and ran away, while some stood their ground and fought back. Those who did neither were the ones getting slaughtered. I was simultaneously reminded of Sordy and the conflicted smile that she flashes at me as she reassured us that we should be able to pass the first round with little to no trouble. Looks like we have no choice but to take them down. Yeah. I mean, we could wait until the numbers are dwindled even further, but we're not that type of person, right? Of course not. Holy damn. What? Are they stuffed in jars? He put multiple persons in there? Why? Tear off, clawing, white claw, rupture. Oh, that one's a bit troublesome. Rupture count, leaping, cracking jaw, randomly inflicts 2 of the following effects. Dice after dealing 10 damage. It has an auto kill? Interesting. Wait, what about your passives? Do you have any sort of passives? Staggered halves the rapture potency and count of the target. This last hit. If this unit hits a target, this turn gains additional power. If the unit is killed, or kills itself, apply attack power to all. Okay, so even though they can kill themselves, I don't really want them to do that, because this would literally boost up everyone else. And the last remaining guy would get a power boost of 5, and I wouldn't want to see that. Okay. Doesn't really seem so bad though, on the first glance at least. How close is the stagger bar? Yeah, it's decently close. Alright then. Seems like we're going to lose a couple of our clashes there. That's fine. We need to build our SP quickly. Right, that's the most important thing right now. We need to build our SP. We need to defeat the corpses. And don't lose too much HP on Heathcliff. I mean, I kind of wondered for the AoE effect, but not too many. Not too many, and not that early, okay? Okay, just to make this sure. Oh no. Yeah. That's not good. Maybe you can lower the impact a little. What is this? Do you have poison as well? Of course! Why not? Right? Why not? Those guys are not alive. They can be imbued in poison, the purest form of poison. Why wouldn't they be? Right? It makes sense. Maybe this is a depiction of the virus. Maybe there's some kind of zombie virus around here again. No! Rodion! Okay, it's fine. It's It's fine. We're going to get the first couple of staggers. Oh god, Heathcliff. Did you reach the 50% marker yet? I don't think you did. Oh yeah, you definitely didn't. Huh. Yeah, about that. Let me go for the horns. This is gonna be troublesome. Maybe you can win this. At the very least, thanks to the stagger, I bought my guys a little bit of extra time. Right, that's the most important thing right now. Buying time, breaking their coins. Not entirely sure if that would even help slightly, but maybe a little bit. Ouch. Yeah, Heathcliff is certainly going to reach the 50% mark. Now his true power's been unlocked. Once he unstaggers himself. Okay. What's so bad? I need to build up my SP as quickly as I can. Somehow. Okay, Heathcliff, I need to... A quick reminder. Who had a text weight? Or do you not have it because I didn't level you up to 4 yet? Or there's a good chance that you don't have it yet. But you're certainly getting stronger from this. Yeah, you certainly got stronger now. You can even win your clashes. That's my Heathcliff. Don't lose to a bunch of zombies. And my burn count is already kind of high. Quite troublesome against so many enemies who have counter and unbreakable, right? Well, it's fine. It's probably fine. Did you get that? Okay, one of them is dead. That's good. Ashmana is able to win without an issue. The stagger bar is pretty much at the bottom. There's no way I can stagger it again. That's a bit of a shame, but there's not much I can do about that. Oh god, 12? That's gonna be an issue. It's gonna be a real issue. I don't really have many options to win those clashes. I guess I'm just going to get a stagger this turn. Oh god. Did you win that, Ishmael? Kinda seems like you are losing there. Which I don't like, by the way. Uh-oh. Stagger, of course. It's still fine. It's all gonna be fine. They have the ability to kill themselves. It's kind of horrible. But at the very least, they are helping us out a little. Kinda. For the time limit. For the time limit. Okay. Okay, there are way too many. Way too many of them. Can the heal leader go for the clash power? The grand explosion! Sacrifice need to be made! For the burn count! For the burn count! Okay. Can we get a stick of that guy? I think we did. It's really close to dying. Down to 13. That'll take us a little bit of a waste. Another target would have been better. Okay. You're going to get a special gift from me. Always like to go for the fairies. At least once. I can go for the spider. That's going to hit all of them. For your strongest moves. And Yeah, and a rest is probably the best. I need to strengthen my wrath dices. Come on. Fairy! Be lucky! Be lucky, my girl! No! One day it's gonna work out! Believe it! The passive healing is also great, but someday it's gonna do so much damage. I'm gonna get lucky one day! For sure! Absolutely! Okay, we have another staker. One of them has fallen. Ah, might not even have a chance to use the full effect of my spider, because there are not enough targets left. Oh well. 2 out of 3 is still enough for the spiders. So, that was the last of them. But I have to say, those zombies are rather difficult. Rather difficult. They have a lot of clash power. Alright. The farm? What? No way. No way. Actually? The actual farm? Does that mean we're going to get the farm ideas? After more zombies? One second, guys. But that could give us a chance. That could actually give us a chance to acquire some farm IDs in the future. With restockable bullets. Special type of bullets. Maybe depending on our skills, we can craft our own ammunition. Wouldn't that be great? There we go. That was the last of them. Look at all those bodies. Just how many jars of zombies did that guy bring into this revenue, huh? Now then, what remains inside the hall after the battle was devastation. Many in the audience seats had fled, as the seats that were once brimming with people were only half filled. And the candidates zone down here was littered with bodies of candidates who were mauled to their own death. Meanwhile, the jaw monster, having eaten their fills, had already crawled back into the jaws. So we didn't kill all of them. Great! I looked around and saw some candidates still holding tightly onto their treasures they each had brought to this contest, even as they drew their last breaths. In midst of all this destruction stood the cause of this chaos, watching the slaughter play out with an assured confidence. Okay. How will you attain freedom from aging? How will you argue freedom from death? With mind so dull and body so frail. What says you, judges? I present before you not only the clue to immortality, but also a treasure that brings ruin to those who dares to deceive you. Here's my answer to that perennial question. So you've brought us the clay of the jaw. Is that it? It can be said that those who fail to survive this do not qualify as family's higher candidates. Yes? Isn't that a bit too much? Pan of the Sioux family. He passed because of this? Are you literally slaughtered the... That was not a... He gets passed when he only killed them? All that matters is what he has brought meets their standards. Looks like he managed to get 2 birds with 1 stone then. Eliminate any distracting rabble from the competition, as well as claiming a spot for himself. If we ever run into that bastard in round 2, you better let me take more than a few swings at him, alright? 28 candidates, She dozen from the She family. But no one walked up to the platform. As he has failed to appear, he is eliminated by default. Here's Singh called a few more names thereafter, but 29 candidates, 30 candidates. The numbers of the candidates had clearly been called, but none appeared. Disappointingly, MB. Yeah, all the mediocre bunch got wiped out from that attack, and the leftovers are exhausted. Ryosha looked around as though she was doing some sort of critiques. That luck. Oh. Is that the thumb? It looks cool. He has the cape. He has the cape! That motherfucker! God, we have to calm down! I know! Oh, I'll be! Thought you gone and vanished into the earth! What the hell are you doing here? Crawling around there? Girl, I saw you giving me the evil eyes. Let's have the decency to say hi, eh? Iryasu? Is that guy talking to you right now? And in a very, very rare display of raw emotions, I realized that she was anxious and furious. Do you know him? What an absolute unit that guy is. Block's got to be at least 2 meters tall. Do not look at that man, Dante. And everyone, avert your eyes as well. It is strongly recommended that we do not say a word to him. That's right, you shrimps. You gotta first wreck them teensy brain of yours. Gotta think really hard about whether you even come close to my rank before running your mouth, see here? That shithead! Lay hang! He's the finger. The thumb is a syndicate that has a really strict adhesion to rigid hierarchy structure, even amongst their own fingers. And his placement in the hierarchy is the highest, even amongst the capos. His rank is immediately beneath the position of the sotocapo, or the underboss. A small mistake could drag us into a battle that we do not want to fight. Please order everyone to not say a word, Dante. I don't know what's going on, but I get it. You're saying that we are this close of having another finger hunting us down, huh? Yep. Yeah, let's avoid that, guys. Do as fast ask, everyone. Please. Lei Heng began stomping his way through the crowd towards us, casually but forcefully shoving anyone in his way to the side. His gait was blessed and brutish, but I noticed that his eyes were fixed intensely on Ryoshu. It seems that amongst the crowd were some people in higher positions as well, but even they either averted their eyes or voluntarily got out of his way. He marched confidentially through the frozen crowd, as though he was familiar with this kind of reception, until a cry rang out from the crowd. "You there! You big brute! How dare you block our young master Nangon Chung's view! I'll have you know that you stand before the returner of the younger family, the house that shall soon be one of the 4 Instead of a reply, we had a blast of gunpowder, then saw the right arm of that man that just spoke into the air. The scream muffled as Lei Heng forcefully shoved his giant hand down the man's throat. Then, with the sound of red meat being pulled apart, he ripped the entire length of the... No! That's the reason why you shouldn't speak out. They're literally ripping their tongues out. Young Master Nangon Jinhee, ain't you? You owe me an arm now. Mighty sorry, but you should have kept a tighter leash on your boy's showings. The young master of some pristine house presented his right hand. Though it was clear that he was utterly terrified, Lei Heng proceeded to grab his arm and break it off from his forehand like a snapping twig. Oh, I went easy on you, boy. Seeing a friendly face puts me in a good mood. I don't reckon you missed the spider's house, huh? I can't imagine why anybody would. Giving me the heebie-jeebies too, whenever I got swing by. We got some catching up to do later. I'll teach you how to hold your sword real good, right? Like back when... Wait, wouldn't mind the best out of them all? I thought I taught you how to make every cut real fucking delicious. Ryoshu, now is not the time! Faust whispers to Ryoshu in a low voice without raising her head. Shut up for a damn second! Faust trusts that you still remember the promise that we made prior to your employment, right? Get that stick out of your behind, kiddo! I ain't here to pick you up. I sure as hell ain't trying to teach you a lesson either, like back when. Your baby still had that house, ain't that right? Baby? Ryosha was gripping the hilt of her sword like she was about to unsheath it. The same sword that she refused to unsheath for the duration of their entire journey. But am I wrong about that? Just what in tarnation is happening then? I ain't exactly nose deep in that fella's business. You gotta understand. Got something sure as hell went down though, didn't it? Yeah, now ain't that something? So you really fixed on sheathing that plate, huh? Miss Ryoshu! In a quiet but coldly stern voice, Faust called Ryoshu's name. Ryoshu? What is that? Aw, dang it! What in the gosh dang... my bad, y'all. I really gotta take this. It's the underboss calling. You gotta understand, right? Alright then, I'll meet you later. We can talk about your daddies or shoot some other shits then. See you around, Yoshihide? What? The strange man turned around and stomped his way through the crowd again. His booming voice reverberated across the entire hall as he loudly and boisterously answers the call. It's gotta be here for the family Hayek war, right? The outcome of the family Hayek evaluation determines the immediate foreseeable future of H-Corp, which brings party of varying, possible clashing interests here. Hey, Heathcliff, notice that you didn't rush ahead this time, huh? I was worried this was going to be like last time with the middle. I know a thing or two about the thumb, back from my cynical days, and about what happens with the middle. Like I said, I had no bloody idea who that thing even belongs to. And besides, that sword is more powerful and violent than Ricardo, huh? An individual we had encountered in the past. The thumb commands its own manners of terror and violence unlike that of the middle. As we all shared our impression of Lei Wang, I found Ryosha frozen in place, in the same position that she had been in when Lei Wang walked past her, spacing out. All the way to the pinky, huh? The pinky? Ryosha muttered something to herself, as even further chaos was about to overtake the crowd and the candidates. For the second candidate, Ye Qingyu. Ye Sing called upon the next candidate. And at the mere mention of the name, the chaos that had swallowed the hall immediately settled into a hushed silence. It's the ninja girl! Oh yes! What this god! What this god! Oh, this is gonna be so good! This is gonna... Wait a second! Is it the other... Wait, life insurance. Was it life insurance? I don't remember. But it almost looks like it. He has 2 discard units! Yes! I like him even more! Shiatsu walks up to the platform, unaccomplished by his own faction, but not alone. Who are these people? Oh, Dante, I could tell you stories about them. The ninjas! Oh, the ninjas! I've never met them before. Oh, don't worry, you will know. You will learn to love them soon enough. Then, that must mean that they are what Big Brother Chiachinsu's answers to immortality is about. Who could they possibly be? The life insurance! The life insurance! Neither of them appear to be particularly skilled in combat. Oh, just you wait. Yeah, they're both constantly looking around like they're nervous or something. They are... Faust believes that they are survivors of the library! Yes! Yes, they are! Survivors? Well, the only one who survived the impossible, you know? The inevitable odds and the insurmountable force. They are the only survivors who may be able to explain that very force possible. Candidate Chiu of the Chia family. Chia Chiu didn't really spend much time behind the curtain. He walked out soon after, his steady expression unchanging from when he has entered. The testimony rings true. They are both survivors of a place that soared beyond a star of the city, before it has vanished. It is a shame that we were unable to procure ourselves an invitation back then. He has passed. Of course he would! Come on! Okay, anxiety is gonna be a foreign concept to that guy, huh? Then, that converts all the candidates, it seems. With the first round complete, to all 4 families who have graced this hall. Excuse me! Unlike Xia, whose appearance plunged the hall into utter silence, Hong Lu's sudden interaction rouses the room to a roaring chaos of confusion once again. By you? What? I think you might have missed the candidate. What do you mean? I believe we've already covered every candidate presented in the list. You missed me. Yeah, by you, of the Chia family, will participate in this war.